right? So I like to say Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakaha, Quadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. So I wanted to grab this article real quick. It says inside Ghost Town. It says inside Ghost Town nuclear bunker made for prime ministers as owner issues chilling World War III warning. So it says the U.S. Sun, the owner of a ghost town nuclear bunker made for prime ministers, has issued his own chilling World War III warning. Mike Parrish, 76, bought the former government secret nuclear bunker in 1994 and runs it as a museum. It says, built in the 1950s, the sinister structure harks back to an era when the UK was on the brink of a nuclear war with Soviet Russia. The bunker lays under a field in Colvedon, from Sandhurst Heights, Lockyer if I'm not, Hatch, just a short drive from Brentwood in Sussex. Crucially, it's just a 29-mile drive from Downing Street, and would have provided a bolt hole for prime ministers and cabinet ministers in the event of a nuclear strike. You know, and the scriptures talk about them hiding in the holes of the rocks and of the caves. So obviously you could see that there's something that's on the horizon, something is coming that they're not telling you people about, man. And there's events that's going on in the world to show you that America is about to come into a bad spot. Just not America, but just all over the world, right? Because you have, and I mentioned this Saturday, you have high tensions going on in the Middle East and over here in the West, man. You know, you still got a lot of, Russia invading Ukraine. You got the U.S. sending military aid funding Ukraine to battle up against the Russians. You got the U.S. also providing military, military aid to Israel for the war that they have going on with the Hamas, right? And you got the U.S. is at war with the Houthis, which they claim is backed by the Iranian government, right? They say that it's Iranian. They say it's a Iranian. It's backed by Iran's government. It's an Iranian military. I forget how they said it, man. It's you know how they say things, man. It's like a military militia or something like that that's backed by the Iranian government. Some in between those lines, right? So you got a lot going on, man. You got a lot going on with war being on the horizon. And guess what? The U.S. is involved in all of those wars. The U.S. is involved in all of those wars. Right now, there's also high tensions going on with China and Taiwan. And it was stated in an article not that long ago that if China goes to war with Taiwan, NATO would get involved. So all these nations are preparing for World War III. Right now, you got a lot of these rich, multi-millionaire, billionaire people are preparing for it too, because you're starting to hear more about nuclear bunkers being built. You even got niggas like Rick Ross, which brothers was doing videos on that not that long ago. You got niggas like Rick Ross putting bunkers together, trying to get a bunker built up, right? Because he's saying Mark Zuckerberg do it. He's seeing all these cats building bunkers, man. So nuclear war is on the horizon. So it says, speaking to the Metro, Mike said, central government would have been irrelevant until radiation levels dropped enough for politicians to grab back their power. The UK instead was going to be split into regions with a different commissioner in each as the country rebuilt after a nuclear attack. It says they would govern the area as a whole as if they were God. The commissioner would allocate resources to any survivors and shoot potential looters or rioters. You know, so there's high attentions going on. There's a lot of events going on that shows you that we're coming into World War III, which when you really look at what's happening all over the world right now, you could say that we are in World War III, right? Because once the U.S. have gotten once the U.S. have involved itself in these world wars that's going down in the Middle East, you could say that the U.S. is at war. You could say that World War III is happening, because you have all these nations that are fighting up against each other, and you got more nations that's actually involving themselves in those wars, man. Right? So let's grab some scriptures here. Let's get I want to grab this. Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. So this is what's happening, man. The Lord is preparing these nations to go to war. It's to bring about World War III. It's also mentioned in the book of Revelations, right? So it says, let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge, Salakia, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Right? So this is what we coming into. We coming into World War III, and I brought an article out last Saturday that you even have, you know, a small minute of people that are actually Googling World War III. So you got a small amount, a minute of people that's actually worried about war happening, man. But what people don't understand is that war is already happening. It's already happening, right? The only thing you ultimately waiting for is for it to end up in the U.S., right? So, but you can see it because nations are constantly threatening this place. Nations are constantly threatening this. Iran hates America. North Korea hates America, man. Right? Vladimir Putin want to go to war with America, but he understands the devastating effects that it will have when going to war with America. Go to war with America, it's going to end up in nuclear warfare. Right? And he knows that. Actually, that was a speech that he said not that long ago where he stated the same thing, that going to war with America will bring about nuclear war. He said that in a statement not that long ago. Right? So we're entering into the destruction of this place, the downfall of the wicked, man. Right? So Revelations 11:14. What did it say? It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And it's coming. We can see that we are on the verge of World War III. This is becoming evident, right? We are on the verge of World War III. Shit, I remember not that long ago when Russia first invaded Ukraine, that Russia stated that if the U.S. was to enter into the war, because the U.S. sent out soldiers to the border of Poland, and they stated that if the U.S. was to enter into that war, into the war with Russia and the Ukraine, that Vladimir Putin stated that he was going to send a missile right into America, killing tens of thousands of people. He stated that, man. And Biden said if he was to do that, that he wasn't going to retaliate, because he was going to try to make himself look like the good guy by not reacting to it, right? So there's a lot of attention out there with these nuclear missiles, with these missiles, ballistic missiles, and everything that these nations are building. So we're coming into a point of time to where, look, you know, you people, whole reality is about to change. Your reality will not be the same. When you see a missile, actually, I went into this Saturday, last Saturday, I said there was some people walking by, and what did I say? I said, look, man, before you know it, these buildings that you see in every day will begin to collapse. I said, when they begin to shoot missiles over here, your whole reality is going to change the minute you see a building collapsing from a missile. Just think how devastating it was during 9/11 when those planes crashed it into the Twin Towers. How devastating it was that them buildings, those two buildings collapsed, caused other buildings to collapse as well. So just imagine if these places are getting hit with multiple missiles at a time. And I'm not even talking about nuclear missiles. I'm talking about ballistic missiles that can just do damage to a building, collapsing a building. Hey, because when you go into the book of Joel, right? The book of Joel, the 2nd chapter says what? It says, Joel 2:1, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, which is Israel, you so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh. For it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, as great people and strong, there have not been ever the light. Shall be, it says, ever the light, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. It says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array, before their face the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another, they shall not walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. What that's talking about? Well, that's talking about nuclear and ballistic missiles, right? Because what you're going to see is you're going to see what I call GPA missiles. They're going to be guided missiles, right? That you can guide remotely, manually, right? Or by way of AI, by way of the AI system. They're going to be able to do these because these missiles are being upgraded every day, man. So these missiles are going to be able to maneuver. They're going to be able to go after their targets. You ever seen I know there's a game you can also play. It's called Ace something, man. It's called Ace something. That was a game. It used to be on the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One, and they just came out with a new game. Also, it was being shown on a movie too, man. I forgot what the movie was called. But when the guy shot the missile from his jet, the missile actually tracked. It tracks heat signature. So the heat, it won't track a small amount of heat signature, but it would track a certain amount of the heat signature. That's why, like, when they shot the missile would go after the plane. It wouldn't break its rank. It would go after the jet. It won't break its rank and hit the ground where a bunch of people was at. It will follow the jet, because the jet is actually throwing out a certain amount of heat that the missile is tracking, man. And that's what the missiles do. Oh, that was one movie, the Fantastic Four. Fantastic. When he did the flame on thing, and he was running from the missile that they shot, because he got in front of the missile and he went up the building and the missile followed him. That's a heat seeking tracking missile. So if missiles can do that now, just imagine all the missiles that they just upgraded, man. The new system, the AI systems and all that shit that they put in them, the missiles. So when Joel is speaking about them not breaking their ring, they're leaping over the walls and doing all that, there's movies and games that show you that these missiles have that capability, right? But I'm going to end it from there and say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakaha Kodash. The ones, the apostles and elders of GMS. And salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. I like to say shalom.